And we're back. So this is season 1, episode 4, Third Wife in Labour. So we open on the red velvet sofa. So let's talk about the looks. So Robyn is sporting a dark, but it's multi-purple short sleeve overshirt with a long sleeve, much brighter coloured purple undershirt. So Janelle is in vivid pink and Mary is in a long sleeve, much lower cut top, purple, with a black top underneath. And Janelle is talking about the miscarriage Christine had over a year ago. And Janelle is not one to over-exaggerate things. So when Janelle said that it was pretty bad and she suspects Christine could have died, it tells us just how serious this really was. So TLC is still very switchy in this episode, still very beep-boppy and bouncing back and forth between scenes. So now we're with Kody and Christine going to the hospital. Now, it's quite an overcast day, it's dark, and Kody is wearing a pair of wraparound sunglasses. Anyway, he has a formal blue long sleeve shirt on and tan pants. And I'm thinking, does this guy have any leisure wear? So Christine says that she's a week overdue and just going to find out if she's going to be induced. Back to the red velvet sofa. Robyn, Mary and Janelle are talking about what's going on in the family. Robyn's wedding is coming up in the next 8 weeks. Mary's 20th anniversary, and of course, baby Truly is about to be born. So back to Kody and Christine. Christine's excited, but she's also nervous, and I have to say, they do look happy here and they're holding hands. So Christine says that she has the babysitting organised because Robyn said, "What do you want me to do?" And in all honesty, Christine is probably delighted to have a bit of help because we know that Janelle is not taking care of Christine's kids, and we know she's not like taking care of a newborn or anything like that. And we also know that Mary doesn't like the kids in her house and she's not actually mad about these kids, so I'm sure Christine is appreciative of the help. So we're back to the red velvet sofa. So Robyn said she went over and she got Janelle and Christine's kids for a party. So let's talk about the look of the party because this is wild. Robyn has a short sleeve top on over a long sleeve top, but I want to talk about the short sleeve top. So the colour is, if you got pink and if you got orange and mixed them together, that's what the colour is. And this is all finished off with a white headband. Back to the sofa. So Robyn says that she's overwhelmed with the kids, but we see McKelty is there, so we know that this is all crap because McKelty is her nanny. So she probably is looking after, like the kids probably are in her house, but we know that McKelty is taking care of them. And she's all crying again, and she's talking about, and this is what she says, her stepdaddy, because she comes from a broken home. And the herpes are completely out of control in Robyn's mouth. And I want to know, when did the herpes start making the rounds in the family? Like, did Robyn bring the herpes into the family? And I also want to know, are they just upper lip herpes or are they also south of the border? You know I shouldn't, but I really do want to know this. So Mary is talking about Leon and how hard it was to have the one baby. They tried, and eventually after 5 years, they finally got Leon. And unexpectedly, she got pregnant again, and she lost the pregnancy. She had a miscarriage, which is just heartbreaking. So we're bouncing back and forth between the sofa and Kody and Christine. And by the way, this is the 13th. So Janelle says that Christine's miscarriage was very serious, and she's glad that Christine's going to the hospital and taking all the precautions. So polygamous women don't usually go to the hospital. They normally have a home birth, which is just wild to me, and I also have questions about that. So when they have a home birth, what happens if one of the women needs stitches? And I want to know, are all the wives together when one wife is giving birth? And what do they do with everything after the birth? There's a lot of stuff involved in birth, a lot of body stuff and the placenta. Where does all that stuff go? And also, where exactly do they have the baby? Like, is it in the bathroom? Like, what happens? Anyway, they're just the questions I have. So we're back at the hospital now. And Christine and Kody are lying on the bed. Kody is rubbing her belly, and it's all quite sweet. And then the doctor walks in, and Christine calls him Beano. So anyway, we find out that Christine is going to be induced. And of course, Kody, being Mr. Know-It-All, is walking through all this, everything. And I also noticed that he has a phone clipped to his belt. So Christine's going to have an epidural, and thank God, because this is baby number 6. So the nurse looking after Christine is named Pamela, and she said that she has a lot of polygamous ancestors, so she's used to being around polygamy. And because I love another TLC polygamy show, hopefully they can find out where Pamela's relatives are. So we're back on the sofa. And Janelle is trying to tell us something, okay, about why do women have home births. And then polygamous expert Robyn and her herpes butts in to tell us. But anyway, the reason that the women have home births in polygamy is because polygamy is illegal and they don't want to deal with the paperwork. But Robyn and her calls her, like they've only been here 5 minutes and she's an expert on this already. So we're back at the hospital and Beano, as Christine calls him, is wiping off his fingers. Anyway, back to the red velvet sofa. And Janelle and Mary are talking about the severe miscarriage that Christine unfortunately had. So they're really glad that she's having the baby in the hospital. Back at the hospital, Christine asks Beano if he's excited. And Pamela says he's always excited. So I really just hope that they're talking about meeting Truly when they say, you know, he's always excited and he is excited. Anyway, we're in Robyn's house now and she's telling the kids that Christine's having the baby. So we're back and forth. Lots of jumping around. So Kody is actually going to leave the hospital. So Christine is ready to give birth and Kody is going to leave the hospital and he says he's going to get changed and he's going to pick up some stuff. And Christine says to bring Aspyn. So we're back at Robyn's and Kody is there in a navy and white striped shirt and a pair of jeans. So he did actually get changed. Okay, back to the hospital. Christine is ringing Kody because her water is after breaking and she's about to give birth. Back at Robyn's house. And Robyn is actually holding Kody up here because she's asking Kody if he wants food or something to eat. And she's listing all the foods that he can have. And Kody is walking out the door. And Robyn, with her flare jeans that are rubbing all over the floor, follows him. And we hear Kody say, "You got my clue." Because he was trying to get her to come outside with him. And the cameraman catches this. And Kody says it's awkward to be kissing his girlfriend while his wife is in labour. So he's tongue deep in Robyn's tonsils. While poor Christine, with her cervix dilating and her water's broken, is in the hospital on her own. This guy. So we're back at the hospital and Christine is getting ready for her epidural. So Kody is there now with Aspyn and her eyeliner. And Aspyn is going to be there while Christine gives birth. So Pamela says that Kody will have all the wives in the hospital wanting an epidural to give birth. And I'm thinking, that's not going to happen. Janelle is not going to allow this. That would be way too expensive. And then Kody makes a horrible statement when Christine is about to get the epidural injection. Kody says make sure the needle is dull. This guy is such a piece of shit. So we're back at Robyn's house. The kids are playing with a doll's house that Robyn tells us her stepdaddy made. She's really trying to indoctrinate these kids. So there's 4 mommy dolls and 1 daddy doll. And the kids are taking turns with the daddy doll. Robyn says that they're all trying to play with the daddy doll and she explains to them, you know, when your dad comes here and he takes a turn with all the wives. So these kids are already calling Kody dad. And she's only known this dude for 4 months. This is crazy. So Gwen shows us a baby doll and she calls it Baby Truly. And honestly, it's not unlike Baby Truly. It's actually not unlike Truly now. So back at the hospital, Cody's being a creep. So he's talking to Beano right over Christine, who's lying there with her legs wide open in the bed. He's actually leaning on her knee. So he's asking about IVF doctors because he's in the business of babies. So anyway, back to Robyn's house. And oh dear God. I don't know how to explain what Janelle is wearing, so I'm just going to try and describe it as best as possible. Now, I should start off by saying this could be homemade because we know there's a lot of designers in this family and they're very crafty. Now, this could be crocheted, okay? It is tomato red and it's a vest. And it's quite a low V at the front, but underneath it, she has a long sleeve white shirt. So we get a lot of vest, but also a lot of white shirt. And it looks like a cross between Poe from the Teletubbies, Mrs Claus, and Mario. So if they had a baby together, it would be this vest. Janelle tells us that Christine really holds things together for her in regards to the kids. And then we walk outside and we see that there's sellotape literally holding up the window of her car. It's an absolute banger with the window being held up with sellotape. Back to the hospital. Christine is giving birth. I actually forgot how intense this was because the camera is really close to Christine and there's a lot of people in the room. So Kody is telling her to breathe and to push. And like, this is baby number 6. She's at the hospital with Beano. She's grand. So she really does have the patience of a saint when it comes to this guy. Like, oh, I just, she's remarkable. Anyway, Truly is born, but she's very floppy. And I'm getting nervous waiting for this baby to cry. And Christine says that she looks just like Aspyn. So Truly eventually cries. She's grand. And she's weighed by the scales, and the scales tell us that she's 7 pounds 11 ounces. great, perfect and healthy. So Aspyn tells us that she only looked at the head coming out, and I can't believe she watched that. I can't believe that she watched her mother giving birth, because just the head alone coming out was quite graphic. Christina's glowing, she's so happy, she has her baby. And I spotted a silver ring on her wedding ring finger, but it's not a claddagh ring. And I was just wondering about that. When do they all get the claddagh rings, or did they already have them? And I'm wondering where this ring came from and why is she not wearing the claddagh ring. So we're back at Robyn's house, and Aspyn sends a picture of baby Truly, and now everybody is going to see Christine and baby Truly at the hospital. Now the last thing you want after you've just given birth is over 20 people coming up to the hospital to you. Anyway, I have some thoughts on this episode. And I think this episode really does show the chaos of the Brown family, but there's also a lot of love and questionable fashion choices. And Christine is just proven, she's even proven here what a trooper she is. And Kody has proven that he is here for a good time and not a long time. And he's been telling us that actually from the beginning of this show. And I have to take a moment for Janelle's red vest and that absolute banger of a car that she's driving, which that's going to live forever rent-free in my mind. So that's it. That's the recap. That was season 1, episode 4, Third Wife in Labour. Hope you enjoyed.